This brings out frustration, and then we keep saying, "Oh, kahan sales mein aa gaye?" I will not fight this vendor. Ki Baba, it is written 20 rupees on the MRP. Why are you charging 30 rupees from me? That means our prospecting is wrong. Everyone gets into prospecting. Everyone. But astute is the one. In Hindi, it is defined as chatur, smart. And if we are not smart, understand we will not be able to get what we want. So it's an art to be smart. Like voice, in fact, your tone, your word choice of words reflects your confidence. Now, just for examples, how many people play in a team in cricket team? One of the prime reason where the funnel, I'm sure most of us may have heard the term funnel, that I have a prospect base of 100 people and I was able to sell it to only 10. Why not 90? Either these 90 do not have need, that could be one of the reasons, or probably the pitching of the product or the service what we wanted them to buy was probably not in the way with what they were expecting. Remember, any organization in the world, whatever product or service what they are defining or they are making or they are presenting it to the customer, they define the price. They define the price. There can be products which may have MRPs, maximum retail prices. Services do not have a maximum retail price, so it can be pretty open depending on to the competency of the service provider. However, the value of the product or a service is always and always defined by the buyer. It can never be defined by the person who's trying to sell it. Let's understand this from a very small practical example. Let's say there's of course in North India right now the temperatures are pretty low. It's ranging in about 7 degree at night and 8 12 degree in daytime, so it's quite cold. So people from north may have challenge in visualizing it as of now, but if you go back into the imaginations, you'll definitely understand. And our friends from south uh, uh, generally have a temperature in their region which is a bit higher. So let's say it's June of a year, and you're traveling on a bike from Delhi to Jaipur. You're alone, and it's the sun or the temperature outside is roughly about 45 degrees, scorching heat. And on the highway, there are no shops, no water vending kiosks, nothing is there. You've traveled kilometers, but you don't have any access to water, and you are not carrying it as well, or whatever you were carrying is already exhausted. And far you saw a small dhaba, I can call it. You went down to that particular shop and asked, and since you were feeling very thirsty, and you felt that without water you cannot go even a mile, but you didn't had any choice. As soon as you got hold of one of the place, you went down there, asked for a bottle of water, opened it, gulped it, paid, and moved on. A 20 rupees bottle. The guy asked, "Sir, it is for 30 rupees." Tell me one thing. Would you pay for it? Yeah. I would certainly. I will not fight this vendor. Ki Baba, it is written 20 rupees on the MRP. Why are you charging 30 rupees from me? So imagine there is a MRP which has been placed on the bottle by the manufacturer, but the value was much, much higher of whatever you have paid. It was life. So price of a product is definitely defined by a seller, but the value is defined by a buyer. And if they value it well, they will be ready to pay more than what is the price indicated. Of course, it doesn't happen in MRP. Now, if the same thing you are doing in an up market, let's say in Delhi or Delhi, you are in Connaught Place, or in Bangalore, you are in MG Road, and you felt thirsty, you'll go down to a shop, nearby shop, because there'll be many of them, and you'll try to buy a bottle of water. The guy says it's for 30 rupees. You say, don't tell me. I know what are the rules. Will you give me a receipt? Now, your attitude towards buying changes because you have more options. And you know that if this guy is not giving me just two shops ahead, I can buy it for the MRP. So here, who's putting the value to that particular bottle? We are doing. Now, coming on to the one of the prime reasons for failure to sell, rather prime, I say in two terms. Prime is key, and prime is in the beginning. Both ways. It has got two connotations. Is prospecting. Like one of our friend had just expressed, if we have gone down to a person to sell the product or a service who does not have requirement, that means our prospecting is wrong and we are not able to sell. This brings out frustration, and then we keep saying, oh, kahan sales mein aa gaye. I would have been great. I should have done BCom and then CA or ICWA. I would have been doing debit what comes in and credit what goes out, making profit and loss account and balance sheets. Oh, sales is so tough. Imagine when we have to ask money when we were younger, when we have to ask money from our parents for buying a book, it was more convincing. And asking money for a night out party, oh, tough. But I know that's the only prospect I have. And we change our proposition. The day I have to ask this money, I will complete my homework. I'll keep my room clean. I keep my everything's in place, in order, so as to create an aura that I'm doing what you are expecting. So please give me what I am expecting. Here also we are doing prospecting. Let's say we open you as you become an entrepreneur and you have funds or you have arranged funds and you have opened a woolen house, a fancy store selling all sorts of woolen garments and accessories. It can be blanket, it can be jackets, it can be anything. However, you have opened this fancy showroom in Tamil Nadu. Will you get sales? Challenging. Because in Tamil Nadu, most of the areas generally have a high temperature. Find out man, and that is a person, a prospect who has the need, or you feel, or we feel, would have the need of the product or a service. If they do not have need, if I do not have need, I will not buy a product or a service. And literally, it is not just the need, it is a strong need. Like if I'm using a ballpoint pen and over a period of time the ink will dry up or it will get consumed, and when I tried attempting writing something, so it was giving broken lines. So when the pen was bought, it already had an age that over a period of time the ink will get consumed. So need was there, but it was not very strong. I already have a pen which is working. I don't have a need. But the moment it starts giving you trouble, the need becomes higher. The moment it stops working and you are called on by your senior for a meeting, now you will go hither thither to find out, grab a pen from someone, because without pen and diary, I mean, your boss doesn't likes attending a meeting by anyone. Or you want to take down notes. Now, if the pen is not there, you will try all those tricks like giving it a jerk so that some ink can flow out and you start writing. But if once it stops writing, that's a time when the need is strongest. Remember, we have been programmed to live with problems. We prefer to defer the procrastinate on the problems. Okay, ठीक है, चल रहा है, it's working. Your car is giving challenges. The AC is not working fine, or there's some wobbling. Okay, no, no, no. I have to attend a meeting. I must go down. Oh, let me see. But one day when it cracks out, that is the time when you will call in the people to tow away our car and get it repaired immediately. So when need is strongest, that is a point where people tend to actually take a decision to buy product or service. You tell a person, so why don't you buy medical insurance? I don't need it. I'm just 28 years old. What will happen to me? If something happens and you go down to the hospital, they say, okay, this will cost you, this surgery or this treatment will cost you about 3 lakh rupees. Oh my God. Do you have insurance? The hospitals will ask you, do you have a medical insurance? I don't. A strong need comes up. So need is not just the parameter for buying. Strong need is a parameter for buying. As a salesperson, we can develop the need from weak need to a strong need. We are trying to sell certain product or service to people. Now, this is a pitfall which most of the salesperson, even I went through that, learned it a hard way out. Sure, I have a mobile phone which has got feature number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'll keep on spraying. These are the features of the product. This will help you like this will help you like that. And then we pray, please, कुछ तो पसंद आ जाए. Out of all the laundry list of features which I have told to the customer, at least let some part may appeal him or her, so that they take a decision to buy. So the trap, the pitfall is spray and pray. And this is generally one of the biggest challenges what people face in sales. And I'll also take you through why this happens, why people getting into the sales, whether it is today or it was 10 years ago or it was 30 years ago, why people fall to the trap of spray and pray. Because they believe that if you tell about the product, people will buy. And we fail in one of the attitude, and that is listen. It's not the words, it's the need. The spray and pray happens because we believe that bombardment of the first V is bombardment of information to the customer will lure him or her to buy the product or excite him or her to buy the product. Not necessary. Not necessary at all. And in fact, other day I was discussing with Ranit as well. We use a variety of phones. We may have cell phones with us or mobile phone with us. There can be hundreds of features, and we may be using only 10% of it. And we have paid through our nose for all those features, for all those licenses, for all those apps, for all those technical things which are in there. We may not be using it. So, bombardment of features, it's a pitfall. Second is not understanding the buying criteria of customer. Why do they want to buy? What are their buying criteria? Now, remember, for a product, the buying criteria can be different for the same product for different people. If we fail to identify the key buying criteria, we are wasting our energy by telling all those bombardment of features. And third, making a proper connect. Remember, in this world, with all the internet facilities and platforms available or being accessed by the people in the world, still buying is an emotion. It's an emotional thing. Why? Because there's a need, and need is an emotion. Until unless there is a connect, like even if you get down on Amazon or Flipkart or Mantra or any of the portal, and you see only the picture of the product which you are probably looking in to buy, and there are less of descriptions available, let me tell you, the chances are that you may not book it. So you're looking over for the details. Is it actually satisfying the requirements what you are looking in for? If it is there, you may take a call to book it, or you may not. So, lack of information from the buyer's perspective, if it is not delivered to them, either through online medium, or by the person who's selling it. My buying criteria. No, it is not what you are selling. My buying criteria. What is my buying criteria? If it is not satisfied, if it is not addressed, let me tell you, sales may not happen. The fourth thing is you got to invest time. This time is for the customer and the time for yourself, upgrading yourself, right? Like in the uh, initial part of the session, Ronit had said, we must keep on learning one thing at least in a day. One day, one new thing to learn. So invest in yourself, in learning new tricks, techniques. Sometimes some things may work today, some things may not be relevant today. This is perfectly right. But let me tell you what my understanding about life is, that any knowledge gained will never go waste. You'll definitely use it one or the other time. Now, one of the second criteria which was there was to understand the buying criteria of customer. In place of bombardment, we need to understand and ask the customer, and we fail. We fail to ask to ourselves: Is this the right person? Is this the right forum? Do they have authority? Do they have money? We fail to ask question to ourselves while we are prospecting. And we also fail to ask question to the prospect itself. So what are you looking in for? And in fact, it is not just a question, it's a relevant question. Because when relevant questions are not asked, what would happen is the buyer may get bored. And when they get bored, they mentally decide not to buy from us. They say, okay, this guy is so much of a blabber, or he's telling me so many things, I have to pay for all of them. I don't need them. Remember the term need. So whenever the selling has to be done, if we if we match it with the requirement of the customer, without actually talking about the laundry list of the features and what my product or a service may have, it will shorten the span of sales call. It will shorten the time wasted, mine and the customers, and they feel that there's a value in it. I'm getting what I want. That what actually gets echoed in the customer's mind. So let me tell you the entire psychology behind why we are not able to make questions well. Why do we fear in asking question? Remember, now this is as per an empirical study. We have been subjected to a shut up approach in childhood. I want to buy a pencil. No. Now this 15th, I asked my father. Now this is something which I have experienced it. I asked my father, how does the fan work? And I distinctly remember this. This I was about 5 or 6 years old. These are some of the things which I could remember. And he said, "Go. Have you completed your homework?" So a no term never came, but it meant like that. I'll tell you why. Why he answered that. This I realized later on. He was a commerce student. He didn't know how fan works. So he used a shut up approach. And I said, he went into the digression mode. And as per an empirical study, we hear the term no almost 15,000 times as a child, which in our programming makes us uh, think and believe that whatever question I ask, I may get an answer in negative. I'm sorry, but this is the real fact. Our parents, teachers have contributed in this. With all due regards to their upbringing, fantastic upbringing, what they have done to us. But this is how we have been systematically programmed not to ask questions. And this is one fear which brings us to the table where we get into the concept, when we get into the profession of spray and pray. अपना बोलो भूल जाओ उसके बाद. And I'll give you the solution, please. I know I have taken you into a more challenging area mentally. Oh, this is what is the problem, but where's the solution? Don't worry, I'll give you the solution. It of course the time is limited, so I'll only give you the solution. We have to all work on it, and we will definitely go more successful, whatever success we have achieved beyond it as well. So, our ability to frame right or relevant question has been curbed, which has actually put us into a situation as an when we grew up, because in the formative age we were told no 15,000 times, so we stopped asking question. We carried book, of course now people do not read much of the books. Book के अंदर कॉमिक रख करके पढ़ना, because we were denied to read comics. Now, of course, people read it on tabs and YouTube, and various devices. You see a child, you leave the child alone, and if they are on YouTube or something, the moment the parent enter, they will swipe it out. There's something else which is being read. They've learned the art. This is called art of deceptiveness. So, art of framing relevant question is actually astute prospecting. And how does it work? Huthwaite Research Group uh, uses what is called as a reverse way. Reverse way. Now, this, whatever is about to come, let me tell you, this may sound very, very awkward, but people who have followed this have become fantastic from wherever they are. They have grown exponentially. Now, what Huthwaite Research Group professes is, now this programming has already been done. We have learned no number of times. We have heard no number of times. I cannot unlearn it. But how can I reprogram myself? For this, there are three steps. Step number one is identify the answer you want to hear from the customer. Identify the answer. Challenging thing. I'm not asking you to make questions. I'm asking you to make out, write down the answers what you want to hear from the customer. I'm sure you would like to listen from a customer that I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to pay. This price is perfect. This product is good for me. These are the statements you would like to listen because these are indicators of that the customer is ready to buy. Write down that and then frame out the question which will give you your expected answers. Now, this is the reverse way. Right from childhood, we have been given question and we have been expected to give answers. And I'm asking you to do something which is absolutely different. It may take you topsy turvy, but let me tell you, this will take you to greatest height of successes. And the third thing, test the question's ability to get the expected answer. The question which you have framed now may not give you the answer. So you have to keep on testing it, improvising it, testing it, improvising it. And I'm sure one day you'll definitely reach to perfection or near perfection. Sorry for the term perfection because there's nothing called as perfect in this world. But this will help you. Like, just for an example, if I have to sell any product to someone, I would not tell them the features of the product. I'll first ask them, so can you tell me your requirement? What are you looking in for? Well, I'm looking over for a ballpoint pen. Okay, great, wonderful. Now here I'm spending time and making connect. I've used a power word. Wonderful. So you generally have a lot of writing to be done, or you generally take a lot of notes, or it is for signing purposes only. Now I'm asking question to the customer, just trying to understand. And let me tell you, I have just only this pen available with me. I'll sell this with the same propositions what they are asking. I'll make those features as integral features of this pen. Any preferred color would you like to have? So I'm trying to understand what are your requirements. What is your buying criteria? So any price range, price band there in your mind? So I'll come to know what is the price band. So I'll get some answers. Now, once these explorations, prospecting has been done, then I'll say, I have just the right product for you. This is a product from XYZ company. Like you wanted, that should be a fountain pen or a ballpoint pen. Express that. This is the finest nib. and it's pretty micro and it gives a smooth sailing while you're riding. I'm sure you were expecting that. Now, this is a question which I will ask, and the answer which will come up, the chances are very, very high it would be yes. Is this the product you were looking in for? Yes. Fantastic. And it definitely falls into the price band, what you were looking in for. In fact, it is just about 5-10% higher to it, but I'm sure you would love it. Would you like to try this? Give them the feel. And while they're writing it, while they have tested it, how did it feel, sir? Good, great, wonderful, bad, whatever it may come up. Now, once the connect has been made, once the buying criteria has been satisfied, the chances of high sales on a higher price is evident. It can happen. So follow this, practice it, and you'll get better results.